All right, we are live. Welcome from behind enemy lines. Rick's Life as I See It. A 1-hour talk show about guns, politics, anything that crosses my mind. Also, I answer questions from the listeners. From
behind enemy lines.
I've done it again. I do it every week. I mess up somehow. You think I would have this down by now after doing it for 34 weeks, wouldn't you? Well, if anybody's got any questions out there in the audience, let's see who we got out here on the YouTube side. Midnight Range, Rich White, Too Hottie, Russ Carr, E-Temp 62, RL. And that's just a few. Then on the gun channel side, we got G-Webs, Islands, General Relativity, Moon. That's all I can see at the moment. So I appreciate you guys coming in. If you guys have any questions, just put them in the chat or send me an email at rickslife@gmail.com. Okay, welcome to week 34. And, it's I just wanted to mention, I think I mentioned it last week, but I lost my list. I sent out all my prizes except for one. If you haven't got now this is the honor system, guys. If you haven't got your prize by this coming Wednesday, let me know. Or I can I have things here from the post office, the things I've sent out, and I can research where they've gone to. But I had a list, and to be honest with you, I got one or two I got 2 patches and a sticker, but I can't remember if I used them or not. Put it this way: the list I wrote them down on is gone missing. Like the list I had last night for the for Clover's chat, where I was going to talk about the small channels. I had a list of names. My cleaning lady came in yesterday, and she cleaned my desk here. God knows, can I find them? Anyway, that's it. So if anybody want a prize, and if you haven't got it by this coming Wednesday, send me an email, please. And I will track it down. And if I can't track it down, I'll send you another one. So, and the only one I'm waiting for is John. When he wasn't on the panel, he actually won a prize. He hasn't sent me his address yet. John. So, that's that. And also talking about...
Hey, Rick?
What?
Hey, Rick, can you just read the internal Google chat?
Okay, I got it.
Okay.
All right. You sure?
All right. Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. I might do that next week because I haven't got a question lined up for this week for that.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. Okay. What I was going to mention, talking about the small creator, like a crater. Can't even say the word right today. You guys like Two Live Moo. Was it C4 Defense, Grizzled Gary, Jared Walsh, Jamal Outdoors, the Kloskfoff 108, is it? Native Gun, Patriot in the Dark, Russ Carr, Tardot 358. These are all, newish channels. And I think it's great that the word's getting out there and we're getting bigger. There's a list I made up today. I had one last night, almost exactly the same as that. So I wanted to mention when I was on that chat for this small guy. Now, talking about that, I don't know if you guys were on, the small guys listened to Clover on his Thursday night chat, the late one, where he was talking about doing podcasts and putting them out there on iTunes or Snitcher and stuff like that. Well, I've been doing that today. I think that's a great idea. I've got 26 of these live chats downloaded already. So I got to get up to number. So hopefully this number 34 will go out sometime this week. That's what I'm working on now. So, I thought that'd give me more listeners. Why not? You guys haven't got access to internet or whatever, and you can always download one to listen to. Listen to my dulcet tones. Okay. All right. Next thing I wanted to talk about was there was a chat the other night. I do listen. I might not participate in a lot of these chats, but I do. I sort of hover in the background. Might not say words, so you don't even know I'm there sometimes. There was a chat there where everybody, more like as soon as I mentioned this, I know who we're talking about. He started his chat and he wanted to know whether he should renew his NRA membership. I mean, to me, it sounded to me, listening to his chat, that he wasn't going to. He wanted to, but he wasn't going to because of peer pressure. A lot of people on gun channels are saying, screw the NRA and all this kind of stuff. To me, to give in to peer pressure is wrong.
I don't think people were saying screw them. I'm just saying they may have suggested to people to think in a different way in which the ARA earns people's trust back.
Well, yeah. One thing is people expect the NRA to be an absolute hardline when they have never been. They've always been willing to compromise to try to get us the best deal that they think they can get. And to expect any different out of them is just mistaken.
Yeah. See, what scares me, I understand what they're saying, but for the guns, is it Guns of America? Is that the other big one? Or the one that has no compromise or whatever?
Oh, the GOA.
Yeah. To get them to be as powerful, per se, as the NRA is, everybody's got to leave the NRA at once and join them. But if you're just trickling in off a few thousand a year, what's going to happen is you're going to weaken both of them where either one's got any power.
The GOA costs so little money that there's no reason you can't do the NRA and the GOA.
Well, I mean, I do both anyway. I do both anyway. I'm not giving up my NRA because, for a good example, what we're going to talk about in a little while, my new show I'm going to start. I mean, that's what the NRA is good for.
There's more to the NRA than the legislative stuff that everybody gets so pissed off about.
Absolutely.
I am renewing mine, even though I still have 4 years paid up. I'm going to add another 5 years to it here in a couple weeks.
Yeah. Mine's. I think mine don't run out for another 2 or 3 years, but I'm going to re-up it. So if more people are leaving in droves, do I stand another chance of winning the prize of older gun? Got that in the mail the other day. I haven't done it yet though. Hey, you never know. I might get surprised one day and actually win something.
I really thought the NRA was bad about the spam, but the GOA, I joined in November, and before I got my freaking membership card, they asked me for my next year's dues.
Are you serious?
I've only just joined, so I should be getting that letter soon, huh?
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, wow. So
I was a tad bit irked about that.
Yeah. I don't blame you. Anyway, why we're into this? What I was going to talk about. I decided. I mentioned this last week. I'm going to start a new. I got to get with G-Webs to figure out what weeknight I can do this. I'm going to do Rick's Life as I See It, shooting with disabilities chat. Because I've mentioned before, I have and keep this one separate. Because people listen to this who aren't disabled, they don't want to. Maybe they don't want to hear about it, or stuff like that. So I'm going to do a separate chat during the week. But I did mention I found out that the NRA have a program. If you go to an NRA sanctioned shooting competition, you can get a waiver to enter it as a, just like a normal person. Like if you're in a wheelchair, you can use your wheelchair, hold the gun in a certain way, will count as like laying on the ground. I mean, there's a whole thing on it. And what did I do with it? It's on the NRA page. It's called Adaptive Shooting, NRA.org. And that will give you that. Because while I was going to do this separate chat, there's coming up to I didn't realize how many. There's actually approximately 74 million individuals that identify as disabled in this country. That's a lot.
I'm one of them. Although you wouldn't know it to see me, I'm not hampered by the ability to motivate on my own and whatnot. I just have zero stamina because I have heart failure.
Oh yeah. I mean, besides being big like I am, the only problem I have is like I have trouble walking, and that's because of a back injury.
Even with the walking part, I can walk okay if I go slow enough.
Yeah, and actually, my walking might improve some because I got to go see the orthopedic. Is that what you call him, surgeon? Next week, because I in all this, I also need a new hip, so that might improve my walking a little bit too. Anyway, but that's getting off. But anyway, and I found. I was reading an article. There's another website I found. Just for people who are interested here. I'll bring this up again when I start my new show. But, where is it? Okay. Yeah. Here's one for anybody who's Scott Works, LLC, at the .com. It's innovative, adaptive accessories for wheelchairs. For you, it's got concealed carry pouches, gun holster mounts, and this kind of stuff in it.
Do they have shotgun racks over there?
I haven't seen any on there yet. I think this is a fairly new company. I think, but that's another one I found. I found what's this one? Oh yeah, I found this. People who have I use this because of the arthritis in my fingers. I use that the mag loader that makes
the mag loader.
Yeah, it makes loading magazines so much easier. And I don't need one of these yet, but I just found also if you're having trouble racking your slide on your semi-auto, they have it's called a brass stacker slide pull, which hooks onto the back of your slide. I don't know if you put it on you or you have to get a gunsmith to put it on. Basically, it's like a pull. You put your finger in it and pull it, and that will slide the rack for you. Your fingers and pull back if you don't have the strength.
You can actually install that on your own.
Okay. I said I just, I was saying, you mentioned there's even got a thing here. People who have, lack of strength in their fingers and stuff, they even have a device that you can strap onto your hand and onto your shooting finger that actually goes over the trigger, and it will act like a light finger, but you actually use your whole arm to pull the trigger, but the gadget makes it work like just using your finger.
As far as the slide pull thing, if you go to Clover Tech's web channel, he did a video on installing one.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Can definitely do it.
There you go. See, so I mean, this is some of the stuff I was researching this week, just the real, to do this. So I'm going to start doing this during the week. See how that works. So that's what I wanted to mention to everybody. So I'm going to start doing that. So.
Well, when you get to it, just let me know, and I'll be happy to come in and sit and take up air and time.
I appreciate that. I will definitely let you know. Also, now the next topic is I mean, our boy President Trump, and whether he called those countries shitholes or not, I don't like using that word. I'm trying to keep this a family thing, but you know, if those countries are so great,
Well,
why are they all
I
trying
don't
to
care if
come
he did or
here?
not, to be honest with you.
What?
And
What was that, Tony? Talk to me, Tony. Lost him. But anyways, I was saying that those countries are so great. Why are they all trying to come here? And don't tell me, and that stupid ass in the that Democrat who said, language like that has never been spoken before in the Oval Office. Oh, come on.
that's my boy Dick Durbin.
You know?
Languages have been spoken within the confines of the White House. Off-color things have been spoken within the confines of the White House. Activity that maybe wouldn't be approved of, for the president or his staff has been conducted within the White House. We're not this nation of innocent people, and although we try to hold our elected officials to a higher standard, we're getting a more sincere president, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the people don't like what he's saying, but what's funny is if somebody on the other side said the same thing, they'd be defending him. So it's just an excuse.
Oh, yeah.
Instead of trying to use the fact that somebody's actually speaking their mind instead of feeding us a line of crap and going, okay, this is something different. It's just pushing an agenda. That's all it is.
Yeah.
This is absolutely stupid because they had no problem with Bill Clinton and they're getting oral sex from a young intern, not to mention what the world he did with the cigar.
Or LBJ being on speakerphone on the toilet holding holding meetings with his cabinet.
Yeah.
And or sneaking Marilyn Monroe in through the back, Secret Service, or Franklin Roosevelt sneaking his mistress in through the back. Or, I mean, it's people are people. This whole thing about back in the old days, people didn't do this. Yeah, they did. Okay, maybe they were more discreet about it. They didn't have the big media we have today. Now everything is out there quickly, and there's video of it and audio of it, and if it's not true, it doesn't matter. Everybody knows that whether you've got old world media where it's telegraph and you're waiting on a 2-week-old newspaper, whether it's today and it's instant, whatever you see or hear first is what you're going to believe, no matter how many facts they hit you with. So all you have to do is just go out there and say something, and then everybody follows the herd too, and it's just the way it is, and it's hard.
And don't forget how you say it; it'll always be misconstrued and taken out of context if they don't like you as a person. So,
because here on this show or other shows, we can all say things, and somebody else might take it out of context and not get the complete meaning. And when they print a retraction, it's always on page 7 or 8. Nobody reads it, whatever. So
that's when they're forced to print the retraction 2 weeks later because they haven't bothered to do it.
True.
In that time. Yeah, so you have that on both sides.
Oh, yeah.
So was it the smartest thing for him to use that kind of language?
No,
probably not. But he's Trump, and he blurts things out, and he says what he means.
That's one of the reasons I voted for him.
But there are 4 of us here on this show. Show of hands, how many of us have been to Africa?
Me?
Okay, my hand is up. I can tell you it's a shithole. And that's not to say I would actually like to go back. I would actually like to go back to the Sahara Desert as a tourist. But the fact that there are a lot of terrorists there and things like that, I'm not getting abducted or something like that. Yeah. In the name of tourism. But I got to tell you, there are, I mean, if you really like the open desert and things like that, the Sahara Desert is beautiful. I mean, we have a great desert in our American Southwest if you want to go see a beautiful desert, but I've been over there. All right. I wasn't in Nairobi. I was in Mogadishu, but I can tell you it's a shithole.
Yeah.
People kill each other over there over nothing. And if they could just get their act together, they've got a lot of natural resources that they could sell and they could use to build up their country's wealth. And they could just, if they could all just stop fighting over some of the, I mean, we fight over stuff, we bicker on TV and things like that, or in forums, but they actually fight with guns and explosives and lynchings and things like that. And it's unfortunate because there are plenty of good people over there that are too scared to do anything because they know they don't stand a chance.
And their government is 100-fold corrupt. So
yeah, and the problem is the government's over there changed so much. You could have coup after coup after coup, or you'll have a country break up into one or two, two or three sections, and then it'll reunify, and it's one mess after another after another. I'm not saying that we should go in there. That was one of the things when I was over there. They were saying, "Oh yeah, they're thinking about Africa's the next place that we should go in and try to nation build stuff." And I'm going, why? It's too big of a what for it. I mean, there are a lot of people going to die, and I mean, maybe in the end, after decades and decades, maybe you can get something, but I just don't think so. There are just so many angry people over there, and they want to just kill each other, and it's unfortunate. It just really is. Now, Trump, you're right. Trump should have chose his words better. He should have just maybe just kept it to himself. But I mean,
but that's what makes him Trump.
Yeah, that's true.
He likes eating McDonald's too. So I mean, they just find anything they can instead of saying anything of any of the good he's done.
Well, they don't like him as a person, and that's one of the main reasons they turn everything so topsy-turvy, and everything is such a freaking story.
Yeah. Now, I know
it was absolutely hysterical to watch media say an S-hole all day long, every 15 minutes.
Oh, CNN, every other word was S-hole.
Yeah.
Such a vulgarity. You need to watch the early watch one day. Grow up. Jesus.
I've been there.
You guys don't hold back on the early watch, that's for sure.
Oh no, let it. No. Oh,
what are you talking about? They're very shy and laid back on the early watch.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Tony's the sensitive one. I forgot. You're right.
Yes. and Jimmy's very politically correct.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Anyway.
Well, no, he is because Rick, he'll correct you if you say or if you say clip instead of magazine. He is politically correct.
Yeah, awesome. But did you hear what they're doing in the in Washington State?
Which thing?
The soda tax. Is it Washington? Where's Seattle?
Yeah, that's Washington.
In Washington.
Yeah, they're doing a soda tax.
Well, yeah, they're just taking the best of New York and California and trying to.
Yeah. Now there's a I can't think of the name. A big chain out there. They even got a sign inside the city in their store saying went up from $16.
Oh damn! I read that.
$30 because of the tax. The tax and so right, and even in the store they put up a sign saying go to our other store, just on the outside line of the city, and you only have to pay the $16. You don't have to pay the tax because the sugar tax is only in the city itself. They're hoping to raise, they said, $5 million for health programs. But where I'm going with this is what they did was a couple of years ago when they taxed city tax for gun sales and ammunition sales. But what people did, they didn't buy their stuff in the city. They went out in the country, bought their guns and their ammo, and brought it back in. So the only person that actually got hurt was the actual small stores in the city, and most of them closed down because they couldn't compete anymore. And then they were taken to court because they wouldn't release the information And it turned out that they reckon they were going to get $1.5 million a year in taxes. It turned out, I think it was in 3 years, they raised $100,000, and they didn't, and it was going to be used to teach gun safety. And it turns out they only got $100,000, I think they said, and they never used the money for that. They're basically doing the same thing now with soda. It's crazy. I mean, of course, it's Democratic run city, isn't it?
They want to force the straight up price for cigarettes in New York City to $16.
Damn.
So they want to raise it another $3.
That's outrageous. It really is.
There was a good segment on what's his name? The guy with the mustache. He's very pro-liberty and freedom, and he has a segment on the news. He has a big, heavy mustache. John Stossel. Yeah, he had a really good segment on that.
Yeah, what was it about?
It was about them raising the taxes through the CDC, forcing it on New York City. This doctor works for New York City, so obviously he's going to go with what the city wants, with what the politics is.
Oh yeah, you got a fantastic mayor there in New York.
Fantastic mayor, fantastic governor, and fantastic bunch of robots that just follow them wherever they go, like a good bunch of dogs.
At what point do the good citizens of these liberal bastions of freedom rise up and say enough's enough?
What do you do when the robots have been programmed?
That's the problem. I mean, take talking about that. We've had this discussion before, but with us talking here, we're preaching to the choir. How many outsiders actually come in and listen to us? I don't know, but even Texas, as gun friendly as it is, I hear. I've never been, but I hear like even because Austin's the capital of Texas, right? If I remember correctly, if I remember my history right. But that's become a very liberal city, and they're not as they're doing stuff now that anywhere else in Texas wouldn't fly. I mean, but that's what I'm saying. They got a hold of Austin. Where do they go next? And next thing you know, that's what happened to California.
Exactly. And the people that migrate from other states, California being one of them, go to Texas for the warm sunshine and whatnot, although California had that too before they destroyed the state politically.
Yeah.
And they go to the free land of Texas and try to convert it to California.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what happens. And that's what happens in New York. It never changes. And
it changes because they dumb the people down.
Another thing I like though, did you read that about in Chicago?
What happened?
They're electing a new attorney general. There's 8 Democrats running to be the state attorney general, and one of them, him and his assistant and 3 film crew, went out to do a film shoot in the neighborhood. They didn't say in the hood. They called it in the neighborhood, and they got robbed at gunpoint.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Oh yeah.
That is awesome.
But then, of course,
for gun control.
But we see it as funny and everything else. But back then, they goes, well, this is why we need more gun control.
Exactly.
And all they're doing is it's insanity. All they're doing is, as we know all this, all they're doing is punishing the good guy, us. Because no matter what, I bet you those 2 criminals who robbed them, I bet you they're both felons. They shouldn't have had a gun in the first place. And I bet you they bought it off the black market. So, no No matter what rules you make, ain't going to change it.
Well, you know, justice finds its way back to those people that created it.
Yeah, yeah. So
On a separate note,
I read that the other day, and I was laughing my head off. I thought, but I bet you they won't put that. I mean, they won't. They're turning that into a propaganda. This is why we need more gun control. You can't go out on the streets of Chicago without being robbed. You know.
yeah, because of course the person who robbed him was a law-abiding citizen.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah. I got a letter from. He finally answered me when I was. What did I do with it? What did I do with it? What did I do with it? Where is it? From my senator, Sheldon Whitehouse. I was talking about him, you know, senator. He needs to get up and push the, national reciprocity through the House. You know, but he doesn't agree with me. He says many states already have concealed carry reciprocity agreements with other states. However, this act, however, would force states like Rhode Island with no reciprocity agreements to allow people from any other state, no matter how weak their permit to carry process, to carry concealed firearms into Rhode Island. In other words, the act would nullify Rhode Island's sovereign right to determine who can carry concealed firearms within its borders. While I do not support enacting a nationwide concealed carry reciprocity law, I assure you I will keep your views in mind when the Senate next debates firearm legislation. You motherfucking, in other words, you're going to, oh, damn, I slipped up. Damn it. I thought, he's going to vote no.
Of course he is.
You know? But I mean, I was gonna write back to him and say, you dumb butt. You know, the person who's got a carry permit, statistically, we're the most law-abiding people in the country. We do less crime than policemen do. You know, you think, for argument's sake, somebody from New York gets a permit or whatever, comes into Rhode Island, he's going to come here to shoot somebody. I mean, that must be their mentality. They think, well, I mean, like, I got Rhode Island, so I'm going to go into New York to shoot. I'm going to go over to shoot John because I got a permit I can carry in New York on my Rhode Island permit. I mean, that's a bunch of crap.
Yes.
Why you got to shoot me, son?
Well, I'll just use an example. You're the only person I know who lives in the city.
You know, there are other people you'll pass by getting to me, right?
They also want to point out the states that don't require concealed carry permits.
Yeah.
They don't have to have any training. Okay. They ain't going around their own damn state shooting up people. What makes you think they're going to come here and shoot people up?
Exactly. As you're saying, even the states that have weak training, or you said the constitutional carry is no training whatsoever, not the Wild West.
No, in states where you can carry, you don't shoot your own, but you go out of state for recreational purposes, of course. It's ridiculous to think that. I mean, I understand why people don't want to compare firearms to driving a car from the standpoint of having a firearm is a right, driving a car is a privilege. But in some cases, the way it's managed, regulated, handled, whatever word you want to use, the simple fact that your car insurance is good in another state, that your driver's license is good in another state, that's an interstate commerce thing that has nothing to do with necessarily your rights or privileges. And the concealed carry permit should be handled like interstate commerce. The same rules or laws that make your dollar spendable in any state, or make make a stamp good to mail a letter in any state, should be the same kind of laws that let you, if you can conceal carry in your state, when you travel through another state, as long as you're not moving there, you should be able to.
Here's an example of a right that is, and that's your marriage license. It's valid in every state you go to.
It is, but when some states said they weren't going to recognize marriage, with the exception of between one man and one woman, what happened? The federal government stepped in and overnight forced all the states to accept marriage between, all kinds of different things, apparently. So if they can do that with the stroke of a pen overnight, I don't know why they can't do national reciprocity the same way. It's an interstate commerce thing. That's all it is. It isn't about gun control.
No, you're right there. And
actually, they're doing it because they want to control.
Yeah, and
that's why they're not allowing it.
I remember there was it was on one back last year when Hudson put this what you call it in, HR 38. He was on a radio show and I was listening to him. He said the key to this reciprocity is just doing what you said, is using that commerce thing to make it work. That was the key thing behind it. He said. He said all he's doing is throwing it right back at the Democrats, because they use that a lot for a lot of their stuff.
Well, if it makes sense, they're not paying attention, right?
I can understand the whole, if you're in another state, you have to follow their laws. I have heard of a clause, and I agree with it, that if you can carry a handgun with more than 10 rounds in a detachable magazine in your state, and you happen to go to another state and you're just visiting, that you can still carry that, even if that state says you can only have 7 rounds or 10 rounds or something like that. That I could understand being some sort of clause in there saying, whatever firearm is recognized by your state is allowed in the other state. But now, say you're in state X and it says you can go to a bar with a concealed firearm, and then you travel to state Y and they say you cannot go, then, don't go, oh, well, because my state says. The only thing it really should matter for, I think, is for the firearm, or the capacity of the firearm, or the caliber of the firearm, or that sort of thing, simply because that's what you're already concealed carrying. Now, if it had to be something where, nope, you've got to obey their capacity laws, blah, blah, then everybody just get a 5-shot 38 Special Plus P revolver when you travel out of state. Because how many people travel out of state that often and pack heat? So...
Yeah.
And it's a good excuse to go get a revolver.
Absolutely.
Or you have to decide, do I want to go to that state? I mean, for the longest time, I did not want to go into the state of Colorado because of some of the BS laws they were passing. But, I've gone to California a few times, and they've got some of the worst laws. And I said, well, if I can go to California, then I can go to Colorado. And same thing with New York and a few other places I've been to. And I made darn sure that I didn't have so much as ammunition, because when I'm out on the road, I'll stop at gun shops and make purchases, not necessarily a firearm, but I'll try to support the locals and that sort of thing. I made sure that I didn't have ammunition when we were traveling in New York City, because if we got in a car accident and somebody rear-ended us and the trunk popped open and the cop looked in there and he saw a box of shells, we're going to jail. It's, and some people go, well, that's unconstitutional, or they're infringing on your rights. You're right, they are. But at the end of the day, do you really want to deal with that crap? I don't.
Yeah, they're infringing on your rights. I mean, but
what we need to do is we need to work to get that. We need to get that stuff undone. But in the meantime, if we purposely break the laws, then we're not gaining any traction on getting these laws wiped out. They're going to go, see, they're a bunch of gun-toting yahoos, because there's so many people just don't understand. They're just so ignorant.
Yeah.
And it comes back to their ignorance and their agenda.
Well, yeah, and then that also comes back to the whole media thing. Everybody sees guns the way they're portrayed in TV and movies and stuff like that, and they think silencers really sound that way. And we were watching NCIS last week, and the bad guy is being chased in a pickup truck, and the police are chasing him down, and they they've got roadblocks and the guy's surrounded. He's in an intersection. There's cop cars at every intersection, and they got the megaphone. They're like, "All right, come out with your hands up," stuff like that. The tarp pops off the back of the bed of the truck. A guy pops up and pulls a minigun up on a stand and just mows down the cops. And I used to work on those things. The rate of fire was wrong. The amount of damage it did to the cars, definitely not as much as a minigun really does. The sound wasn't even right. The guy takes off, after all the cops duck down, and then what they're doing is they're picking up shell casings off the street. There wouldn't be one single shell casing in the street. They would all end up in the bed of the truck. But now the average person is going to go, yeah, oh my goodness, those things are so dangerous stuff. And I realize I'm nitpicking technical aspects, but we're gun guys. We do that. And the average person is going to go, see, because it was on TV, anybody can go get one of these things, and anybody can, they weren't showing all the things that had to be down in the bed of the truck to make this thing work. They would have had to probably tie 2 deep cycle batteries together, and it's going to eat through ammo so fast, and just, the list just goes on. And that's just an example of some sort of the way Hollywood portrays that. And then people go, oh, they're all dangerous, and nobody should have these. And it's hard to fight that every single damn day.
You're right. And that's the problem, is that side of it showing so much and people believe it.
But see, the people on our side, though, we see. Look at my avatar. That's Josie Wales. Okay, I want to have a second walker and an 1860 Navy and an 1849 pocket, and get a nice rig and try to practice doing some of the stunt shots that were done in the movies that is really impossible. Well, I don't want to say impossible, really hard to do, and I don't have the time or money to really practice on that stuff. But I want to be Josie Wales, and I'm always saying that everybody on gun channels wants to be John Wick. Even though we see that stuff, we see the gun. Oh, I've got to get this gun because it was in this movie or whatever. And we know darn well that gun, shot 20 times when it only holds 10 rounds, or we know darn well that suppressor doesn't sound like that, so we do it too. And I understand it's commerce on our end. We want to spend money on the guns that we see, but and we can watch them in the movies and be entertained, but be objective enough to go, this stuff isn't real, but we still want the stuff too. So on the flip side, we're kind of feeding into it as well.
Yeah, you're good. You guys, I was saying that the other day too. I mean, like we were talking about the bumps, the bump stock and all that, making it sound like a machine gun or whatever. I mean, even my handgun, my M&P 45. When I'm down the range, sometimes I'll try to unload that thing so fast by pulling that trigger, see how fast I can unload it. It's just natural for us things to do. But I don't want to turn it into a machine gun. It's not a machine gun, What is it? Is it the Glock 18? That's a fully automatic?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's select fire. It'll dump 19 rounds in 1.1 seconds.
Yeah. But I said we try to, unload magazines as fast as we can. It's just what we do. Doesn't mean we want to go around shooting people.
Speak for yourself. I'm too tightwad to dump magazines.
Yeah. So anyway, any other questions, anybody? What we got going out there? I haven't been paying. Oh, Jared's in the house. I didn't see him. Yeah. So anybody got anything else before we move on? I'm trying to think. There was something else I was reading that got my attention the other day. Oh yeah. It's back to politics, and it's back to good old Democrats. It's so. What's her name? Pelosi. Did you see her what she said? The only time illegal immigrants should be arrested is when they do something illegal.
Oh. Yeah, if that's not a...
But wait, being in the country undocumented, isn't that already illegal?
Yeah, I know. And people voted her in.
But then they want to tack on a bunch of gun laws because somebody committed a murder with a gun, even though murder is already illegal. Wait, what?
I mean, even that case in California with that girl where he got off, scot-free. You know, that was all political. You know, that was them trying to say back to the federal government, see, you can't make us do anything that we don't want to do. That guy shouldn't have been in the country. He shouldn't have had a gun. He should have been. He should have been given
At the very least, he should have been locked up somewhere.
Yeah, yeah. At the very least. Personally, I think he should have got death penalty, but you know. Yeah, but that gets me. I don't understand. If you're in this country illegally, then you've broken the law. Plain
But
and
you
simple.
can't tell that to the Democrats and the liberals.
You know? What
'cause
about?
that'll make
I mean, don't get me wrong. There's people coming here all the time, you know, doing it the right way, you know, and they can have the American dream because they've done it the right way. Why should these people who are doing it wrong get it?
exactly.
You know? They just,
And,
I know.
and that's all anybody on the right side, so to speak, has been saying. You don't have a right to surpass anything. The laws are the laws. Get back in line, and we'll be happy to see you when your number's called.
Yeah, I mean, when I was married, my wife was English, right? And I had a stepdaughter from her first marriage, so she was English. And I had to do the immigration thing with them. I mean, of course, they were lucky because I was married to her, but I helped the process along. But it still took months, and it still took a lot of money, you know, to get them their green cards to get here. You know,
But you did it the right way.
but I did it the right way. You know, that's all. And that's all they ask.
I've got a friend who is from England, and she got her citizenship. Her and her husband got their citizenship. They want to stay here in America. As much as they complain about America, and as much as they've got stuff, you know, their license plate or what they have on their desk at work, or all the stuff in their house is all English and stuff like that, and that sort of thing. And that's fine to be proud of your heritage and things like that. And they don't push it too much, but they do complain about America a little bit more than I think somebody who went to the trouble of getting citizenship. Well, they're trying to get their kids, their adult kids over here and get them. And they've been trying for years, and they keep getting pushed back and pushed back. And one day she was complaining to me that, you know, her sons have been trying to legally get in this country for years and can't get in. We had all these people cross over the border and get in here illegally. And then they get all this government assistance, all this other stuff. And I said, you voted for the people who are allowing this. You understand that? All these times you want to tell me that because I don't vote Democrat, that, you know, negative things. And then, you know, we try to stop talking politics and not ruin our friendship over it. You know, it's you want your son in here, you're going to have to get more conservative people in elected positions, because they're going to be more about keeping illegals out and keeping people who want to go through the proper channels in. It's not about race. It's not about it's not about anything other than, are you willing to go through the hassle to become a citizen, or you want to break the law? Well, if you want to break the law, a conservative's not going to be behind you. And it's not that conservatives are just so much better. It's just a different thought process, a different way of thinking. So you want to complain about this. That's very important to you. But you have been, since you got your citizenship, you have been voting for the people that are keeping your sons out. And it's unfortunate, but, you know.
Yeah, yeah. You know. Also, I was another thing I noticed. England. I mean, Donald Trump canceled his trip to England. They didn't want him to come anyway because of those videos he released or he tweeted out of the what you call it. But I forgot all about it. But one of the reasons he was going there was to open the new embassy. You know, and I forgot about. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't Obama. I think it was actually in Bush's time. I'm not sure, but they sold the embassy. The building, America owned it, and it's right in the center of London. I mean, it was called the Court of St. James in Grosvenor Square. I mean, I know the building well. I went there many times, you know, and it was in a beautiful location, right in the center of London. Now they moved to this outskirts of, I can't even remember where it is now, but it's definitely a step down to what it used to be. It just seemed, it just, I don't know. I just find it so kind of sad that something that has stood there all this time, is gone now. An icon, part of America sitting right in the middle, because it was classed as American soil, and right in the middle of London. It was, yeah, I guess I get sentimental and kind of stuff like that. Because I remember, I guess it's part of my childhood. It's changing, and I don't like change. But I'm glad I'm here. I've always, even when I lived in England, and I loved living in England. England's a beautiful country, believe it or not. Well, it was. But I've always traveled on my American passport. I've always claimed to be American. And I've always wanted to, and when the opportunity finally happened for I could actually come here, I jumped at it. I really did. And I've been here ever since. So, I've been back to England on vacation, and that's as far as I want to go. And I like British stuff. Right when you guys see me here drinking my cup, this is tea. I drink. I got a teapot in the kitchen. I must make 4 or 5 pots of tea a day. I get 2 of these out of my pot, and so I must drink about 8 cups of this a day.
Friggin' limey wannabe.
Yeah. So I love my tea. And I love certain British foods and stuff like that. It's what I was brought up on. But do I want to go back? No. I can buy 99% of what I like off Amazon now. Because they own Whole Foods, and there's a lot of British stuff on there now. So hell, what do I care? And I got Prime. I can have it here in 2 days. So there we go.
The Brits certainly don't know about bacon.
I love bacon. Now, what kind of bacon are you talking about? Are you talking about bacon as in bacon, or are you talking about bacon like in cakes?
I'm talking about bacon as inside of a hog.
Oh, no, English bacon's different to American bacon. English bacon is
soft, slimy crap. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's not smoked like it is over here. It's more salty.
Is it raw?
What?
Is it raw?
Yeah.
You get worms, man.
No, you cook it.
They cook it,
so it's not raw.
Cook.
You still have to cook it.
They tend to cook it.
Yeah, just cook it. You have to cook it.
Soft.
But what I'm saying is smoked. Here, it's most you can get the bacon here that most people have, right? It's called streaky bacon in England, right? Or they call it back bacon, which is like Canadian bacon, and you either they have a smoked bacon, but if you get a smoked piece of hog over here, it's cooked. You can eat it. You can pick it up and eat it. Like a ham. This always confused me. A ham is a pork leg, but it's smoked, it's cooked. All you got to do is heat it up. But actually you could open up the pack, take a slice off and eat it raw. Eat it cold because it's cooked. But a smoked in England is just flavored, but it's still raw. You still have to cook it.
Somebody get Food Travis in here.
He's here already. Oh, you mean in here?
Yeah, in here.
Well, according to Food Travis, Rick,
yes,
if the English had better bacon, America wouldn't have had to bail you out of World War II. Just saying.
I know a fresh ham is uncooked. I know a fresh ham is uncooked. Now, why do you call it a ham? It's a goddamn leg of pork. You know,
Pig is a pig is a pig.
you know, when it's cooked, it's ham. When it's raw, it's pork. So a fresh ham over here. You know, if you said I want a fresh ham in England, you get a cooked piece of ham. Right? Over here, you said I want a fresh ham, you get a raw piece of ham. A raw piece of pork. You know, it's Americans make it confusing, you know.
That's why I just get turkey.
And the only reason we won, I'm talking as an American now, is because we didn't fight fair.
Well, war.
You saw the film The Patriot. We shot the officers.
Hey, Rick.
No, that's not. No, that's fighting sensibly.
It wasn't done that way.
It was fighting sensibly. It's not about fair.
You know,
It was done that way when you had guns that could shoot that far.
You cut the snake off the head.
Yeah, you see, you don't shoot officers. You shoot the.
I don't know.
You
There
don't
were a
shoot
few
officers.
that
Do.
You shoot whoever gets in the way.
But I mean,
That's why it's called war.
yeah.
Okay, well, no. What you could do is you could say that the American volunteers were the colonists were so inaccurate that they missed and accidentally hit the officers every time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but honestly, that's the way the British Army used to be. They had this fair sense of what fighting should be. You know.
Yeah, but you know what? When you march into a town and you seize all the guns, the first ones to go, I'm shooting at the officers.
Hey, I don't.
The ones that are giving the order.
I don't blame you. I absolutely don't blame you. And you think about it, but we're all going back to our Second Amendment here, is look at the rest of the world. If you want to control a country, you take their guns away. If you want to control the people, you take their means of fighting back.
Well, yeah.
You know? It's happened all over Europe. You know, most of Europe. I know there's some countries that still have guns, but most, like England, you know, they've stripped them of their guns. They can't fight back. And look what's happened. Same with France, Germany. You know, it's and they're even trying it in Australia. I've never said let's do what Australia did. You know, they're taking the power away from the people. Is what they want. They want to control, and that's what the Democrats want to do here. They want to control us. They want to say what is good for us, what we can do and what we can't do. You know, which I don't think is right. I should be able to do what I want, and how I want, as long as I don't interfere with somebody else or break a law. You know what I'm saying? I should be able to do it. I mean, I ain't going to steal from somebody or anything like that, but I should be able to, you know, do what I want to do. And I got more freedom here than I had in England. I feel I can't actually explain it, but I actually feel it. That definitely more freedom here.
Well, you got a 45.
Oh yeah, absolutely. 45 is where it's at. You know?
Well, it's a gun. I mean, you wouldn't be able to have that in England.
No, I wouldn't. I remember when I was there, I owned a shotgun once when I lived there. I got into pheasant shooting. I had a friend who was I met him in the pub, and we became friends, and he was a gamekeeper at the local manor house. I think because they had some woods out there, and he was in charge of all the pheasants, and he would let me at the end of the season, before the season ended, there'd still be pheasants left over that he had raised all year, and we would go in there and shoot them, or try to. So I owned it then, and the only reason I got the shotgun was because I used because I was working for the American government at the time, so I used it like I was a NATO exempt from the British law. So I just had to go to the local police station, show them I was working for the American government, and they gave me a waiver to own a shotgun. That's how I had one. I don't know if you can't do it today, you know, but that's
also Tony, he wouldn't have a 45 over there. He'd have a 455 Webley.
Yeah, absolutely. You know,
That's not exactly what you call pocket carry.
Hey, I've been wanting to get one of them Webley revolvers. A little while back there, Jared said over in the YouTube side, aluminium.
It's wrong no matter how you say it.
aluminum.
There you go. See, Rick's got it down. I hear people born here still saying aluminium.
Yeah,
You were born here. Why are you saying aluminium?
In England, it's aluminium. You know, so it's occasionally I do slip up. I mean, I had to stop and think about that before I said it, because I would have come out with it the wrong way. But that's just the way I am. I'm just waffling on here. You realize that, guys? And my hour is up. And you know what? I forgot to do my quick quiz, but we're going to do it right now. I got a hit or miss sticker and a Lupo Tour sticker, the van, the dog hanging out the window. This is
It's a good thing you threw in that band patch. Nobody wants those damn hit or miss stickers.
well, you got one now if you win. So keep an eye out, guys.
So, should we all try to lose then?
Yeah.
Actually, I'm just being a dick because
Now
Night
keep an
Strike's
eye out on
supposed
the
to send
chats
me
for
one.
me, because I ain't gonna be able to see them while I'm looking up my my question here. Now, what did I do with it?
Tony, you don't have to try.
What the hell happened to it?
And that concludes our free giveaway for the day.
Yeah, I lost my question. Where the hell did it go? Ah, here it is. Real easy. What is the Israeli version of the AK-47? What is the Israeli version of the AK-47? Anybody got it yet?
Patriot got it.
Sean Connery got it on the Gun Channel site.
Patriot.
Hang on. My
Yeah.
God, I've even lost
Yeah.
the chat now. Hang on.
John was first, and then, Ohio 45 and Patriot.
Who got it first?
Sean.
John.
Patriot
No,
got
Raphael,
first
that is an
here.
incorrect answer.
Okay. Sean, send me your address to Rick's Life as I see it at gmail.com, and I will send you the hit or miss 9 o'clock Tuesdays sticker
Patriot got it with
and the
poor spelling, not Sean.
Oh, well, yeah, now if you want to get technical. And on the YouTube side, Midnight Range got it first, but I was trying to bounce back and forth, and I think Gun Channels, the answer come up on Gun Channels first, so
one of them Gun Channels wins then.
Too Hottie got
So-
it, Rich White
so
got
is-
it.
So did Patriot get it or Sean get it? Are you going with
Patriot got
spelling or no?
No, I'm not going with spelling as long as it was readable. I
It would have
Okay,
been-
Sean. Sorry.
It would have been funny if Amit was in here and he got it first. He'd be like, really, guys? Really?
Yeah. So
And Patriot
Okay,
got it
no,
first.
Sean's saying Patriot got it.
yeah.
Okay, so Patriot, send me your address. One of you. If you don't want it, just say so. You're not going to hurt my feelings. I'll cry when I go off camera. You know?
You're gonna have a big box to send back to
Yeah.
the Night Strike.
Yeah. So, no, I mean, it was nice of him to send me a handful to give away. You know,
Absolutely.
and if anybody else out there has got any, what would you call it? Flash or whatever you want.
Swag?
Oh, I didn't scroll up far
Swag.
enough. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Patriot
Yeah.
did get it first. Sorry.
Oh, I do have it. I'll have to look it up. Patriot. I
Wait,
must
so-
have it still in somewhere. But well, anyway, you'll be getting this one too. So
And
if everybody's
Patriot,
gotten
you
this
get
stuff-
a free membership to the dictionary club
Yeah.
too.
So Anybody's
Rick, got his address.
Want to send me to give away on my show? I'll give you a little plug like I did with Hit or Miss Tuesday nights 9 o'clock. Man, I don't mind doing that for you guys. And this is a Lupo tour, wasn't it? This one. I don't mind doing that kind of stuff. If you want to give me the stuff to give away, I will gladly do it. But I was thinking of making some, that new avatar I got of the old,
the spotted dick.
Yeah, I was trying maybe get some patches or stickers made of that, but I don't know where to go or how much it cost me. So I gotta get hold of Clover, because didn't he get some from Owl and Anchor? That young lady that came.
Oh, you're talking about the cereal box patch she did for him.
Yeah.
That was actually pretty cool.
Yeah, I thought maybe if she took my avatar and she could do me some stickers.
G-Web says he's got
you covered.
So, all right, got you covered, Rick. Stay tuned. I will. Anybody else got anything else to say before we call it?
Just goodbye.
There was a press release from the White House that said Trump looks to slash government red tape on overseas sale of U.S.-made weapons. As part of President's Buy American initiatives, the Trump administration is looking to streamline the weapons export process and speed up the pace of deals for overseas sales of weapons. Americans' arms manufacturers believe these changes will even the playing field with their less regulated foreign competitors and result in billions of dollars of new deals. So let's see the American firearms industry bring money into the country and create jobs, and maybe that'll translate to a few lower prices for us. Maybe.
Yeah. I personally myself, I would like to. I would have to have one of them old World War II 1911s, but I ain't paying $1,000 for one.
Yeah, not when you could get an SR 1911 for $700.
Yeah, and you can even get a Rock Island Armory one for $500 or less. I got one of those.
Oh, I just wanted to slip in and say congratulations to Midnight TM Range for reaching 200 subscribers.
Oh, we got 200. Congratulations, and congratulations to everybody else. And thanks to Two Live Mood, Jared, John Z, even though he's in the panel. Philu, who else we got? G-Webs, Raphael, Sean.
Patriot in the Dark.
Whoever else is out there in the chat. I keep losing the chat because I got to get more. I got to get more Patreons so I can buy more equipment. If I can have 2 or 3 screens here, so I don't keep getting lost. Because I'll click on the screen, then I lose everybody else. And by the time I found you again,
Russ Carr, Too Hottie, Rich White, Travis Great Outdoors. Yeah.
Thank you all. All I got to do is thank you all for tuning in. I'll be here same time next week. Plus, I got to get with G-Webs and see where I can slip in a show during the week where we have sort of Rick Cyphers, I See It, Shooting with Disabilities. It might start off only being a 15-minute show, but hopefully it will get bigger and we can get more people into it. I know Tony said he'll be joining me on that one, so there we go. That's where we're at. And thank you all for being there. And good afternoon. I'll see you later on.